Good morning, everybody. I'm glad you're here. Let's get our morning started. Something a little peaceful. Perfect. I think I'll just hold it for right now. Hi, good morning. I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a body mind expert and I'm a shiatsu massage therapist, which means I'm not half bad to wake up to in the mornings. It means that I love beauty and color. I love touch. I love to feel calm. I love to feel good. I know how to feel calm. I know how to feel good. I'm a good friend to have. So if you're watching these live streams, welcome. These are a nice way to start the day. Okay. Something calm, rational, gives you good insight, supports you for the day, and there you go. So I help women who are in narcissistic and toxic relationships figure out how to take their life back, how to rig their body so that it stops reacting so hard, how to bypass your normal fight flight reaction so that you can be smart and strong and steady, so that you can stand up when someone's being a bully, and so you don't feel like you have to walk on eggshells anymore. You start to take back your own reactions to things so that you can choose your reactions. You can choose the way that you want to go. Now, you might be worried that it requires becoming a Buddhist or a lifelong practice of meditation or becoming a yoga instructor, and maybe you've already done these things and they've worked so far. But you still get hijacked. You still get emotionally hijacked, energetically hijacked by a narcissist who is dysregulated. Now, what does that mean? A narcissist is when someone behaves like a narcissist, and we all have these tendencies, typically when they're dysregulated, when they are their nervous system is out of balance. And many people in today's world, their whole life is lived out of balance. There's actually a physical difference between being in your frontal lobe, your head brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain, where you live in an intuitive way. You know, when you look at all those people and you're like, how are they so successful? I remember watching the master class with Robin Roberts recently, and you go, how is she so successful? Oh, because she knows how she learned when she was a kid how to stay calm no matter what. Now, some people have this natural temperament. It's usually not empaths. It's usually not empaths who have had dysfunctional households. Those are not the people that tend to walk into situations and nothing bothers them. Um, the people who end up in narcissistic relationships, uh, in relationships with people who are more self absorbed, more controlling, more obsessive, more off balance, more irrational, that tends to be more narcissistic. And who ends up in relationships with that? People who care, people who are nice, people who are successful, people who've been able to achieve a certain amount in life, women who came from difficult upbringings but are now making it work. You know, successful, smart, creative, capable women tend to be the ones who end up in relationships with narcissists. Why? Because one, we care a lot. Two, you you have enough tools and enough insight about healing and wellness and balance that you want to help other people. And you may arrogantly or naively walk into a relationship with someone thinking that you've got this ability to make it work and they've got this ability to make it work. And you find out pretty quick that their problems are way bigger than your skills, way bigger than what you know to be true. Maybe you got into a relationship when you were young, 17 or 18, 30, 40 years later, you're still there. Maybe you got into a relationship when you were older, but you hadn't had a ton of people that you dated in the past, so you didn't have a lot of experience. Maybe you're someone who's dated narcissist after narcissist because you just want to help. You just want to care, or maybe you're trying to find something to make you feel alive or motivated. Or, for people who have trauma, many times we end up recreating the pattern just in order to figure it out, to sort it out in some way. So if you find you're in a relationship with someone that is toxic to you because they don't understand how to manage their own emotions and their own trauma and their own problems that they have, like ADD or ADHD, and they have no desire to learn, and now they're in their 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s, and you're still stuck with them, um, it's time to make a change. Most women who find me, they've been in a relationship for quite a while, and they've had many narcissists in their lives, and they're tired of being hijacked by their own nervous system, by their own reaction, their own anger, their own hurt, when they know they shouldn't care anymore, when you know you should be able to detach and walk away. But a narcissist still has this ability to control you. So that's called a trauma bond. When you've got a relationship with someone who has the ability to control you like that, and the reason they do is because they've lived with you through trauma, whether they're the ones who created it or not, we create little buttons in our brain, and those buttons become trauma bonds. So every time we think about a narcissist, or we have an association with a narcissist, and we had a strong emotion, we're going to get triggered. Now, we can get triggered for good things or bad things. And good things are like smells that remind us of rain or being connected. Maybe a trigger for you is grass on your feet sometime when you were young. When I used to work with women who had come out of domestic violence, they were in shelters. I'd volunteer my time. Um, what would happen is when we would work with them, they would finally feel like these weights were taken off their shoulders. They could remember all the times that they'd run out of the house or stood there while their body was shaking, or felt like the world weighed 1,000,000 tons. We can take that weight off of you. You can learn how to take that weight off of you, and it doesn't require you to spend a lot of time doing it. In fact, you can start to make these changes in 60 seconds or less. Really, it's just kind of once you start using them and realizing that stuff gets better, that your body starts to heal and get better from all the different information, the different tools, you crave it. You crave feeling healthy and balanced, because now you know what it's like. Now you know how to get there whenever you want. Now you know how to manage it. Now you know how to stay there for the long term. And now these trauma buttons disappear for forever. So if you're ready to leave a narcissist, if you want to leave a narcissist, when's the best time? The best time is when you have the skills and the tools and the support in order to make good decisions. As long as you're doing this by yourself, as long as you're thinking that you are by yourself, this is going to be really hard, because you don't have the resources, you don't have the new information, you don't have the support, you don't have the women who've got your back. You're trying to do it alone. Or maybe you've joined some of the other narcissist groups. Have you seen how angry they are? Have you seen how over the top? Now, if you're a woman who's, a little bit older, a little bit more experienced in life, you don't want to deal with that. You're not 20 something. You're not just turning 30. You're someone who has a position. You're someone who has a level of success in the world. You don't want that level of drama anymore. You've had it with your narcissist long enough. The last thing you want is to hang around with more dramatic people. That was some of my problem with going to 12-step, or I did Codependence Anonymous for a while. My problem with that is that I was reliving it all the time. So not only was I reliving it, with a narcissist in my life, I was reliving it because I was being reminded of it over and over and over and over by people who were not moving forward. They didn't have the tools. They didn't have the insight. They were working a program, which was great, but it was going to take forever. You don't have time for that. You don't have the energy for that. You don't have the willpower for that. There's a different way, and it doesn't require you to go to therapy. It doesn't require you to become a Buddhist, and it doesn't even last very long if you don't want it to. Although a lot of women, once they get involved, it just becomes a part of your life. You get a good support group of women who can help you through this. So, you may be looking logistically, okay, do I leave on a Wednesday? Do I leave on a Saturday? Do I leave when I'm home alone? Do I leave after I've seen a lawyer? You've got all these things spinning in your head and people giving you a lot of advice or information. And you're probably doing this on the fly, on the secret, because you can't tell many people you're in a relationship with someone who's so toxic because they don't want to hear it. Okay. And if they do want to hear it, it's because they're dealing with the same thing and they just want to bitch about it. They don't want to, they don't have good advice, or maybe they have a supportive ear, maybe they're listening, but they don't have anything new to give you. When you get the right support, when you get a group of women who've got your back, and the women that work with me, we're in for the long haul because we like each other. And almost anybody who joins us likes each other. It's like you have an instant group of cool, interesting friends. And then once you do that, you start to learn the real tools. Now, as a body worker, as me, someone who's worked with, the nervous system and the subconscious and touch and energy work and Asian medicine, and, this is my passion. You start to learn the tools that are like hacks. They're biohacks. They're nervous system hacks. You've been running on old software from your childhood for too long. And I don't care how much therapy you have, how much group support you've had, how many mantras you've said, how many times you've started and failed at meditation. It doesn't matter. A lot of these things don't work until you get control over your nervous system. And if you have the tools that give you the control over your nervous system, you can stand there calm, centered, smart, collected, present. You don't even have to be numb. You don't even have to disassociate. You can be there while a narcissist says or does whatever they need to say or do and not get hijacked, not get emotionally triggered. So you're ready to leave a narcissist when you have the tools that help you regulate your nervous system, when you've been using the tools, because what it does is it gets rid of those trauma bonds. It gets rid of those it gets rid of those little triggers in your brain that keep you energetically or emotionally or chemically, because of our hormones. We are tied to traumatic people on many levels, on the level of sense, like how they smell, on the level of touch, how they feel, on the level of their energy. Our body reacts in a wide variety of ways, not just with our mind. We've got our unconscious, all of those systems, they're bonded to a narcissist. We've got our subconscious, all those things that we don't let ourselves think, they're bonded to a narcissist. It's not as easy as you just changing your mind. Not as easy as you just deciding that you're done. That's usually another stress pattern, is when you just disassociate and don't care anymore. What I'm talking about is you're able to still care, but it doesn't hijack you. You don't end up in the same pattern you've always ended up in. So when you use the tools regularly to get rid of the trauma buttons, when you get the support and the insight and the understanding and the wisdom of other women who go through these things, who've been through these things, and we come together in support, suddenly it's not you against the world. Suddenly it's an intelligent, functional, capable you with women who are whispering all of their secrets in your ears, with you retraining how you think because you keep hearing the same positive messages like these morning live streams. And you naturally change. You change gracefully. Now, of course, there's still going to be drama because healing has some drama involved. But as you heal these things, you're not doing it by yourself. You're not trapped. And you're not a patient. You're not a client. You're a person. You're a person surrounded by friends who care about you, who want the best for you, and who know exactly what you're going through and how to get out of it. And they're helping each other get out of it too. So it's not just lip service. So when's the right time to leave a narcissist? When you finally have the tools and the support to leave them. Because if you try to do it too soon, it's going to be way harder than you want it to be. It's going to be 100 times harder because you don't have the support. You don't have the resources. When you have a bad day or a bad night or a bad fight or you screw it all up, you're still by yourself or trying to talk to your friends who want to be sympathetic, but maybe don't have the right advice for you because they really don't understand, or maybe they haven't dealt with their own, or they don't have enough experience. They want to help, but they can't. So when you're ready is when you know you're ready. And you know you're ready, not when you're leaving out of fear, but when you're leaving out of choice, when you're leaving out of support, when you're leaving out of intelligence and information, and when you're leaving because in reality, you just don't need that relationship anymore. And it's time to move on. So if you're a woman who's been in a narcissistic or toxic relationship for a while, if you're thinking about leaving, if you're in the middle of leaving, if you've left and you want to start a new relationship, or you just know you have various things you still want to clean up or get through, child abuse from the past or memories that just came up, because a lot of these can be hidden. They can wait until your 40s or 50s till you remember that a priest molested you or that a doctor was inappropriate. You know, it can take time to remember these things, or that your sister's, husband, kept sitting you on their lap, or, all of these things, it takes a while for them to come up. And when they do, even if you're in a good place in life, you need some support to work through that too from people who understand. So if that's who you are, reach out. Go to inspiremassage.com. Send me an email. Send me a text. We'll get it set up for you. And we'll talk. We'll figure out what works best. We'll get you a part of the program. We'll do one-on-one coaching. We'll figure it out, okay? Because you don't have to do this alone. And really, within months, if not shorter, you can be serving your divorce papers, even if you've been married to them for 40, 50 years. You don't have to stay. You just haven't had the right tools yet. Okay? So I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm looking forward to mine. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. You can do this. Talk to you later. Bye.